Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, the internet. Hi.
It's good to be with you two again for our 3 times a year giveaway live stream. This one is for May 2025, and we're doing it a little earlier than we usually do it, but it feels good. It's very recent. Protospiel Online May is very recent in our memory. So everybody, welcome. You see our little name tags, but we've got Crystal Dax and Chris Michaud with us, and I'm Heather Newton, lead organizer of Protospiel Online. And we're going to have 4 different guests with us joining, coming and going today as we kind of go through the schedule and spin the wheel of names to find out who won the prizes. We have more prizes than we have some new prizes that we haven't given away before. I'll give you a preview right now. Okay.
This one's easy. Prize preview. That's exciting.
Okay. This is Vibes from Lunar Punk and Zoe Allred. Okay, so 1 copy of this. Now this is going to be the granddaddy at the end. This is such a generous prize. This is from Joachim and Mindgate Studios, Feud, the Seer's Prophecy. So this is a 2-player card battler with like this.
That's a chunky box.
That is
it's a chunky box. And it's very fancy inside.
Oh, wow.
Just the color scheme, I'm getting an Inscription vibe off of it, especially as a 2-player card battler, which is like my favorite thing. So,
my partner is literally sitting 2 feet away from me playing Inscription right now. Like, I just convinced him to play it finally. So
Mantis God at the campfire every time.
Yes, Mantis God at the campfire.
Yeah, I get that reference. I don't play a lot of video games, but I played that one recently. No, this is like a positional. There's like there's this mat this mat that you play with, right?
Ooh, that's a big map.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, and so it's like there's zones and cards, attack cards, blah blah blah, and all these like cards already nicely sorted in this cool arrangement. And then what we've had before is our Panda bundle. So these 3 designer, paper, and wood toolkit from Panda. Oh, reaching over the big giant box. So those are all the physical things. And then also, so 2 of these, 1 of each of the others, and a lifetime subscription to the Max plan for Bordacy, which is a new software kind of for game development, project management, all of that, that's been kind of crashing on the scene like, hey, everybody, we're here, use our thing. They've reached out to us.
Amazing.
So yeah, a lifetime, that's pretty great. I'm going to be really interested, whoever wins that lifetime Bordacy subscription, if they use it, hearing more like about the experience of using it would be really cool. So
yeah, you got to clue us in. Make sure that everybody knows if it's a good deal or not.
Yeah.
I mean, free is always a good deal, but still.
And we'll also be giving away prizes to live viewers. Chris has made a new game for us. Oh, and let's say hi to chat. Jack is with us. And Zoe, the designer of Vibes, is with us in the chat and agrees with your Inscription assessment.
Can't say much more about why. You just gotta do it. So
it is one of those games that you can't really tell people too much about. But basically, if you like board games and you enjoy any types of video games, you'll like this video game.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's a lot of card game experience and point and click adventure-y kind of stuff too is in there.
There you go. Direct from Zoe. Maybe if you plead in the chat, you can get an autograph. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not making any promises, but you know, whatever influence I have from this seat, anything could happen.
Awesome. So, unlike most of the streams that I do, I've started doing streams by myself, Minigame Monday. So our viewership has more chances to see just me, not quite as fancy of a stream with so many guests and everything, but this one has quite the schedule for us to be following. And Crystal will hang out with us when we're doing the wheel and playing games, and we'll switch. We'll keep just Chris with me when we're interviewing our guests. So just to give you a little bit of a table setting. And I think what I've got first on the agenda is for us to do our first chat game, which is the opposite board game titles games.
That's right. We're going to have some fun today. I'm going to try to do something a little different every time as time permits. For those who don't know, I've semi-retired from the game show thing, although if you ask me really nicely, I'll happily come and host for you. But that leaves more time to come up with new ways to torture Heather Crystal in the chat on these thrice a year streams. So here's how this one's going to work. I'm going to show you the opposite of a board game title. You tell me the name of the board game. So Heather and Crystal, we're going to do one for practice. This one doesn't count. Feel free to play along in the chat. I'm going to start by showing you the title, Daybreak Stability. Can either of you get it just off of that?
So it'd be Daybreak would be like
sunset or dusk.
I'll give you some clues. It was published in 2005, designed by Ananda Gupta and Jason Matthews. According to BGG, Daybreak Stability, a two-player game simulating the 45-year dance of intrigue, prestige, and occasional flares of warfare between the Soviet Union.
Twilight Intrigue.
Oh,
close.
Twilight Struggle.
Twilight Struggle is the answer.
I don't know where intrigue came from. I was like, it's a word.
So that's how this one's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and show you the opposite title. I'm going to start reading some clues. I will let you know right now that all of the games that we're going to do are ranked in the top 100 on BoardGameGeek.com. You are allowed to pull up a tab right now. Go to BoardGameGeek.com, click on Browse, and all of the titles we'll be using today are in that top 100. So if you don't know it off the top of your head, you are allowed to do research, but fastest correct answer in the chat wins. Got it?
Yes, and it's for stickers. This
for stickers.
So
this one's for real, chat. You can play this one along. Heather and Crystal will keep their answers to themselves, but they will start vigorously emoting when they get it, I'm sure. So first real one for a set of stickers is Cheer Prison. Cheer Prison. And I will let you know that this was released in 2017. It was designed by Isaac Childress. Cheer Prison is a game of Euro-inspired tactical combat in a persistent world. By the way, this is verbatim from BGG, just to cite our sources. A persistent world of shifting motives, and the players will take on the roles of wandering adventurers with their own special sets of skills and their own reasons for traveling to this dark corner of the world. Players must work together out of necessity to clear out menacing dungeons and forgotten ruins. In the process, they will enhance their abilities with experience and loot, discover new locations to explore and plunder, and expand in an ever-branching story fueled by the decisions they make. And if you haven't figured out Cheer Prison yet, remember, you can answer at any time. As of this morning, it is number 4 in the BGG rankings. Number 4 as of the press time today. So if you can figure out the opposite of Cheer Prison, first one in the chat will get that sticker pack. Heather and Crystal, any ideas on what Cheer Prison is?
I think that we need a new game of Cheer Prison that's got Jack's title.
Sadness Escape.
Sadness Escape is a great guess, as is Night Fix Chaos.
That's just outside of the top 100 right now.
yeah, Sadness Escape.
Outside. It's in top 100 in my heart.
Sadness Escape is the game that we all play every day.
100%.
I think you got a correct answer. Gloomhaven is the opposite of Cheer Prison. Congratulations, Jack. I recognize that in Avatar Anywhere. Congratulations on winning a set of stickers. Well done. And we will do more of those as the day goes on. So,
awesome.
Good work, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, hi, doggy.
We got a guest.
You're my favorite customer.
She wanted to congratulate the winner.
Yes, and then before we go on, we're going to go ahead and do vibes. So if Zoe...
We're going to do vibes.
I don't know if Zoe can stay for the whole time, but Zoe will be here for that drawing, probably. And so you'll get to see live who wins. I'm going to hand this over to Crystal's driving.
Yep.
And we had a lot of bingo activity. I'm so proud of you all and excited. Oh, yeah, we got to spin.
Okay, now 3, 2, 1, spin it!
Ah,
Woo!
there we go. Look at all those names spinning around.
Many of them are the same person over and over and over again, so it will clear up. But
Congratulations,
so
Kane! I
Kane.
played a couple of games with Kane at
That
Protospiel
was
this
and
cycle.
so that's vibes. That got
Congratulations,
like,
Kane!
It's here somewhere. Anyway, I don't know. I showed it to you before. I'm gonna let it go.
Well done, Kane. Absolutely.
Yes, congratulations. All right, so now I think we're ready. We're a couple minutes behind, but we've got our next guest. So we'll say goodbye to Crystal and switch to guest. If I can find the button.
Thanks for keeping us in line, Crystal. We appreciate it.
Hello.
There you are.
Here
Hello,
I
Nick.
am. Hello, everyone.
Good to see you, Nick. I don't know if I've been on voice with you a lot, but I don't know if I've ever been on a video call with you before.
Oh my gosh. I could have been catfishing you this whole time. I could have just been some random person. You would have no idea. Yeah, we've played many games together during Protospiel, but never face chatted. Hello.
Yeah. So it's good
And
to
thank
see
you for the
you.
custom chalk work as well. We appreciate it.
Yes. I wrote it backwards because my camera mirrored everything. So I think I did a good job. And then I realized that there was a setting to unmirror. So that made me feel a little bad.
It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but I think it looks okay.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having
and
me.
thanks for joining us. And so Nick is one of our team captains, so helps out with when people are first joining our server before the event starts. Nick is serving as one of the people who can be there and answer questions and stuff. We really appreciate that. And and I feel like it's been quite some time that you've been around the Protospiel Online community. So you could kind of tell us what brought you and kind of what your experience has been. We can start with that.
I didn't realize it until like a couple of days ago. I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I've been going to these for like 3 years. I don't think I've missed any. I might have missed one. I don't know. But I think I've brought every game I've ever designed to a Protospiel just because it's so valuable and it's fun to just like unplug from the world and plug into board games online and just play board game after board game after board game after board game and give feedback, get feedback, talk to people. So yeah, I always look forward to it. And whenever I see the date, I clear out my entire schedule and just like plan to sit there at like a bunch of snacks and like maybe like some fun drinks and just put my feet up and enjoy the weekend.
Snacks an underappreciated part of the experience. I always load up on Protospiel snacks all day.
Yeah, you got to.
Sometimes I remember to mute my mic too while I'm munching on it.
Yes, that is very important.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes. I've thought sometimes it would be fun to have like we're all in on this snack thing together. Like beforehand, you know, like
show us your buffet style snack that you have in front of you. Show us your table, and like maybe whoever has like the biggest table of snacks wins a prize or something,
or an award, just like a certificate.
Yeah, sure.
Snack game.
Yeah, we always have to turn everything into a game. I do love that though. It's always fun.
Oh yeah, I would say that's definitely my MO. I like gamifying things. So
yeah, and like even like the bingo part of Protospiel is a lot of fun. I'll see like a game pop up. I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone stop! I need to go get my bingo square from this game. But I think my favorite part of Protospiel is honestly talking to people in the looking for game chat, and there are just so many like well-known designers there, and they're just sitting there just like doing nothing, and like it'll just be like me and them. Like this is like a one-on-one interview as opposed to like reaching out to them through email or like trying to contact them another way. It's just I can just bombard them with questions, and I learn so much every time I do that. I remember just like Joe Slack was sitting there. He was just like, it was just by himself, and I just popped in. I was like, oh my god, you just wrote a book on board games. Can we please talk? Can you please help answer all my questions? I've done that with like Matthew Hawker. I think even like Jack, who's in chat now. I think I've just like bombarded Jack with a bunch of questions too, about like Kickstarter even, or just anything. So that is my favorite part of Protospiel Online, besides all the games, of course.
Yeah, I think we talk a lot about how you can get your games tested over and over again and how useful that is. But there's a certain amount of networking too that you can do.
Yeah.
And just it's real hard to be a game designer without help and without peers and without other people lifting you up. So I'm glad that the community can really help each other in that way too.
Yeah, because it is like technically a convention, even though we are in our own space. Like I can still talk to whoever from a different state just because they're in the same like virtual space as me. So like, why wouldn't I network? Like I would just treat it as any other convention and try to make friends and chit chat and learn and give feedback and give information and take information and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and you start to, well, you're getting ready to run a Kickstarter. You shared that with us that we could share in the chat. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So exciting. So scary. Nobody told me it was going to be so exciting and so scary for so long. It's like been going on for months.
Right?
I've been freaking out. It's so terrifaying.
I'll put the link in the chat here so people can check out what we're talking about. But so you say you brought like, this is a multiple game Kickstarter. I was kind of perusing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we're still putting it together. We're currently writing the rules. We being me and my co-designer Adam. We made 5 games. I do not recommend doing that. We made 5 games. They're all very small. And at the beginning, they're like, oh, we'll make them small. We'll make them like 1-card games. And then we're like, we can make them better if they're like bigger games. And then they just turned into bigger games. And now it's like, it's been taking so long, but they're all very good. I promise. So we have 5 games in 1 box. And the idea is you just take this box to like a game night, and whoever wants to play a strategy game, they pull out the strategy game, play the strategy game. Whoever wants to play a party game, you pull out the party game, play the party game. If there's one person who just wants to play by themselves, we have a solitaire game ready for you. So it's really like a Jackbox type style situation, like one shoe fits all box of games. And we are currently testing the rules, which I brought to Protospiel and did some unguided play testing, which was awesome. But we're testing the rules for 5 games, so it's just constant testing. But we're almost there, and then we'll pick a date to launch, and then my anxiety will go even higher into the stratosphere. But yeah, that's what's been going on with that. So thank you for posting that link.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't know it actually until you had shared that this is like, I haven't talked to you very much about, what your plans for things are. I just know that we've had Millrat is in our sponsorship listing, right? And that's you, if people have seen that logo.
Yeah. We're trying to like build a brand, and not just through like our games. Like Adam and I have been doing a lot of like teaching classes on how to design board games in public libraries. We're doing a summer course that's like an entire summer every Saturday, where like you come, we teach you how to make a game, you build it, you take it home, you bring it back, we do another, like, here's how you play test, and then you play test in class, and then you bring it home, and then you come back, it's like, here's how you refine things, and then write the rules, and then talk to publishers. So hopefully at the end of this course that we're designing, people will just have games done who have never made a game before, is the idea.
Maybe you said it and I was a little distracted. Did you say what age of people are coming to these?
We're trying to aim for like 8 or 9 plus. So it is a library. Obviously, there are going to be kids there, which is great. But we're recommending that there's adult supervision with them. And obviously, like, we'll be there to help. But more so people from like the 9 to like 30, 40-ish age range is kind of like what we're shooting for.
Okay. So just to get wide range.
Yeah, just like anybody, honestly. And it's free, so anybody can just come and learn how to make a game.
That's
love the idea of sort of folding children into that sort of iterative design thinking sort of mindset, and the idea of just the process of making a board game is pretty well hewn at this point. But
Right.
how do you introduce that to a younger audience? Because that's going to translate to so many other skill sets.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
any kind of creative thing you want to do, there's a
Exactly.
similar process you can use.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Even if it's not a board game, they now know how to like do a start to finish type of project from inception to like on the shelf potentially of like an art piece or writing a book or anything. So just as long as people are thinking creative and having fun with their community, that's great. That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
We
thanks for
all
having-
grow the board game community, or the creative community in our own ways.
Yeah, exactly. We all do our part.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, we have another prize to give away. So I'm going to bring Crystal back and go to the wheel, and you can help us spin it, Nick.
Can I really?
Really appreciate it, actually. I'm going to just keep my hands off it this time and
Oh my
just let
gosh.
you do the work.
Okay.
You get
Don't wanna
to
hurt myself.
spin it. It does not spin unless you spin it. I promise.
It doesn't
how it
sound
works.
right. Something's not adding up here.
All right, let's do
Yeah.
it. 3, 2, 1. Spin that wheel.
Yay.
Here we go. Round and round she goes.
This one's for Board to see who wins it.
Congratulations to Andy.
Andy.
Congratulations.
Andy's name is on there a lot, so I'm gonna want to hear from Andy how this works out. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Nick.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll say goodbye and bring on our next guest. And if you're still with us in the chat, I'll keep an eye out for you.
Okay. Yeah, have a good one. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and I heard our other guests. Okay. I'll keep you with us so you can say hi for a second, Crystal, because we have different things to talk about with this guest, both Protospiel and some exciting announcement.
Oh.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Who won the sticker from earlier?
Congratulations. Well done. Good solve on that.
Goes with my t-shirt.
Yes, 100%. Well, why don't I'm undecided on what order we should talk about things. Which order do you want to go? Do you want to go Protospiel into the announcement or announcement first? Are you itching for announcement?
No, let's do the Protospiel stuff.
You're going to keep me waiting?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll do Protospiel. I'll bring you back, Crystal.
Okay.
We'll do announcement then into wheel and bring you back then. So thank you. Let me get you in the featured seat, Jack. There you go. Yeah, thanks for I feel like you're here involved in streams a lot, but I guess we've never had you as a guest before.
I don't think so. I have a terrible memory.
Yeah. There are some people that I'm like, we've never had you before, and then I go look at our records, I'm like, oh yeah, like 3 years ago. So
Right.
I'm not sure. But yeah, go ahead and tell us, like, what's your what brought you to Protospiel, or what are your memories from it?
Yeah, I mean the main thing is just it's the community. It's been just fantastic. I really like I think a lot of people, I really started seriously working on board game design during COVID because I was locked indoors for long periods of time and was off work, so had an unending amount of time to put towards it. And Protospiel was something that kind of fell into that place kind of as things were developing. And it's just been a fantastic way to see what else is going on out there. I've always done a little bit of like play testing and development work in local spaces, but again, going back to COVID, like turning it into a truly international community was just such a game changer, having access to people that could give feedback from a completely different perspective, that were bringing games, doing things that I had never seen before in ways that I had never seen before. One of the simple things that I point back to is I was play testing a game. I think it was called like Garden Rush. I don't remember the designer's name. It's somebody that's been around for a while. But one of the things that one of the playtesters said, because I don't remember what country they were from, but they were like, "Why are potatoes worth less than, or why are turnips worth less than potatoes?" And or I think I said, anyway, short version is that we had an entire discussion about whether potatoes or turnips were supposed to be more valuable, and based on your regional origin, that determined which thing you thought was more valuable between potatoes and turnips. Both of which almost everybody was like, yeah, but they're just the bottom. They're the bottom shelf vegetables, but some of them are slightly less bottom shelf. I mean, I love potatoes, but we're going to turn this into a potatoes and turnip stream. But just having access to that kind of feedback was a real game changer for me. Thinking about my game in terms that, you wouldn't normally even like consider because your scope's just so narrow when it's only yours. And so it's been great. And then Protospiel has also just been a space in which I've really developed my like games as an art, as opposed to games as a publishing product sort of thing. So like, the big thing that I bring is it's complicated and it's too complicated, which are
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
Because I just want to lay some respect on your name right now. I had the pleasure of playing It's Too Complicated. It was at Friday night of Protospiel, and it's well documented on the record in public things that I've done that I'm a huge fan of stunting in game design. And It's Too Complicated is a motorcycle flying over 7 city buses of a game design. It is wild, and I loved the opportunity to get to experience it.
I'm sad that you had to skip straight to It's Too Complicated without the narrative backing of It's Complicated.
Oh, so I've missed a few pieces that would fill in the entire story.
Yeah, I mean, just having it's such a crazy ask to be like, I made a game as complicated as possible on purpose. Would you play it? And have a bunch of people be like, yes, please.
No, seriously, like I'm sitting in the chat and it's like, I'm looking for a couple of masochists to try this game. And I'm like, you have my attention. I am in. I don't care what it is. We're going for it. And it was glorious.
And Protospiel's been a great place for that kind of experimental design. I've seen, again, like I've done play testing in a lot of environments, but Protospiel has this like X factor where people will bring just the craziest stuff, and some of it turns into something, some of it doesn't. But it's always been a really great experience to see how off the wall somebody can make their designs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in-person Protospiel has that parts table, which can lead to people making things during the weekend. I'm not sure if it's like there's a sign that's like saying you should make stuff, but there's something about those parts being there that like gets people to do that. I think they might be in name, like the named reason for them to be there is to help you iterate your game. Right. But yeah, making and actively changing things during the weekend is part of the ethos of Protospiel that actually may be something that I don't know if I've ever said it out loud, but it may be something that's kind of uniquely Protospiel. I don't really think that happens as much at like Unpub.
Yeah, I think there's no nice way to say this on either side, but I think that there's a sense of like, if you go to an in-person event, like you want to get your time's worth out of it and you want to be as productive as possible. And I think that there's a little bit of a liberating factor where it's just like, you know what? Nobody had to drive to this thing.
Yeah.
I am not asking people to spend their very, very finite time playing my silly game. And the components thing, I mean, you can't put a bunch of random components out and not have designers make weird stuff. One of my favorite good game design origins of a game that I have is my wife came home from work at Target and she goes, I saw this stupid kid's toy and I think you could turn it into a stupid game.
Exactly that phrasing?
Yes. And I took literally like 30 seconds to look at this thing and I go, hun, you're right.
I just loved it. It's like, will you please make me a stupid game? That's amazing. I love that.
Match made in heaven.
She knows what my design plans are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two masochists thing. Didn't you? That sounds familiar. You said something like
That's
with
basically
original.
every time I post any It's Complicated stuff, I'm like in the field that's like, what are you looking for? I'm like, two masochists.
I think one time you said, I'm looking for Heather Newton and Matthew Hawker or two masochists or
Right.
something like that, right? Yes. Matthew and I have had our little fake rivalry over Complicated. So, yeah, and you put bingo in there. I think it must be inspired by Protospiel. Central mechanic is bingo. It's
for those that don't know, It's Complicated is dice rolling worker placement, and you use the worker placement to manipulate a chessboard, a poker game, a snakes and ladders racetrack, and a resource gathering system. And then It's Too Complicated is a bunch of heavy Euro mechanics that all funnel into win conditions on a bingo board.
And by a bunch, we mean a bunch. I think at the end of the playtest, you asked the question, if you had to play this again, could you play it unguided? And I said, absolutely not. Let's do it again. Because I want to get my arms around it.
And that poster behind you It's Complicated,
That
right?
That is the print and play version. We made a bunch of posters of it that even includes like papercraft dice, papercraft chess pieces. It was designed by Maya Thomas, who just did an absolutely fantastic job.
Awesome.
Also, if you play the game really poorly, it's 2-player. Both of you can lose in the very first round.
Even better.
Yeah, it takes forever to explain, and then about 15 minutes to play before it just falls, before it just resolves, one way or the other.
I love a game that plays out like an April Fool's joke. That's just something that really
I unironically think they're both really good games, though. Yeah. I was incapable of making games that were only a joke, but they do start from a joke.
Yeah, and
multi-loser games. Any group that I'm sitting at is full of losers anyway. So
I also you come up in my memory as like Sunday night shenanigans designer too, because it's one of my favorite lastingly long-term favorite memories at Protospiel was playing Word Crimes, and your very upsetting food crimes.
Word Crimes, Weird Al Yankovic, Crystal and I can
in your very upsettingly realistic sausages victory.
Yeah, I needed points tokens in my Food Crimes game, and instead of just making something generic, I took actual pictures of hyper-realistic sausages and cut them out, and they're just like, they stack on top of each other, and it's very upsetting, but it works for the game.
Yeah, and people were doodling, using them to create stick figure. We as we were doing the feedback.
I gotta start coming on Sunday nights. That's
yeah, you do.
I always take a day off on Friday and then maybe try to do the night shift if I can. Apparently Sunday is when it goes down. So
it's unpredictable though. People have the vibe of they want to do some silly fun thing before we close out. But it depends on. Yeah, it just people's energy and stuff. It's not really no promises. It depends on what people are bringing. So
sounds like a guarantee to me. Okay. Yep.
But it usually something funny happened. For me, this last Protospiel weekend, it was Zach, who was a guest on our last stream, made a game for my bingo card because I was live posting how it was going with bingo. And so Zach was like, okay, I made this game called Action Retrieval Ice Mage Torture. Ice Maze Torture. And it was like a sliding maze puzzle thing. And then what ended up happening, and it said no, warning, this is probably not fun. I just like you're saying, no. And actually, it was pretty fun. it was ridiculous rule breaking stuff. I actually just made Shanti win because I had an opportunity to. And then said, okay, I've got one more square. Could we change this game so that it also could do that? And Zach's like, yes, actually, now there's a market. Okay, go. It was great. Many laughs were had. So.
By the way, Zoe mentions really loving multi-loser games. I think that's very appropriate because most of Zoe's games I describe as mutual hostage situations.
You're holding one another hostage?
Yes.
Will you be nice to me? I'll be nice to you if you'll be nice to me. Yeah.
Or maybe not. Or maybe we both murder each other at any point during this exchange.
I feel like I know I had vibes in my hand a second ago. Where did it go? But yeah, with these like silly little, we're playing this game with these silly little grade school drawings, you know, on, and it's a mutual hostage situation. How did I lose your game, Zoe? It was right here.
It's a multi-loser game, so it's pretty easy to lose, turns out.
Well,
I don't know if vibes is. I'm just yes-ending the situation. But
go ahead.
I was going to say it was already won, so it's probably it belongs to somebody else now.
No,
right? Yeah, they already have it. No, I figured it out. I put the box lid of Feud over it and hit it for myself. Okay. But yeah. So we've got, you know, this is the mutual hostage situation game that we're just one of them that we're discussing.
That is some fantastic art. Wow. I like that a lot.
It's true. I have a question about the box. I'll ask you later, Zoe. Maybe you know the question I'm going to ask, but I'm looking for a specific one right now. Oh yeah, I haven't seen this one, but Brave Little Toaster vibes. Yeah, here we go. Favorite card, Fat Butt Duck. But yes, will you take my fat butt duck? Will I die? Will you give me? Oh, it's awesome. Yes, you stole it. I stole it back, I guess, that way I found it.
I also watched Brave Little Toaster quite a lot as a kid.
It's super weird, right? Like when you think about it, that this kid is really attached to his toaster. I don't know why that would be, right? I need this toaster to toast my toast or Pop-Tart or whatever.
I've had appliances like that. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, well, normally we have like more of a hard transition line between things that we're talking about, but we were talking to you and now we're going to be talking to you.
Yep.
And I think you probably have something you want to share, right?
Yeah, we're figuring it out live, but I think I've already got it strummed
and
restreamed.
I can add it to the to the view.
But
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna bring you back, Crystal, so you can be here for what Jack is gonna show us.
I'm excited.
All I know is that there was a Weird Al reference made, and neither Chris nor I were the ones to make it, which is just strange.
It was an accidental reference.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Also, fat bottom ducks make the rockin' world go round.
I'm not sure. Actually, I know a fair bit of Weird Al stuff, but I don't think I know what is Word Crimes a spoof on?
Blurred Lines. And
Lines
frankly, the
Robin
superior
Hood.
version. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes that creepy song and turns it into a song for grammar nerds, and it's amazing.
I gotta look it up now. That one, I think that one's new to me. Okay.
You got some homework. Yep.
Okay.
So we are announcing Protospiel Online, which is pretty much what it sounds like. It's going to be a small panel series, virtual, where we just present some stuff about game design, game development, play testing. A lot of it's going to be focused on doing that in a virtual environment, at least this round. We may, have other topics in the future, but we're announcing this for July 18th and 19th. It's The goal is to kind of have a nice, easier, lower barrier of entry for people that are interested in the Protospiel stuff, but don't want to fully prototype their stuff, have it ready in time for Protospiel, be there, run their games in an environment that they're not, used to. And so this is more of a, hey, let's get together, let's share some knowledge with one another. We'll have a couple of Twitch streams, which will be aired on Twitch, totally free. We're going to have a couple roundtables, which will take place on the Discord. Getting on there will be also free, but we will be allowing a pay what you want pass. But it's really just about kind of building that foundation of knowledge and building the community that we've got to intertwine everybody a little bit more than we have right now. What we have right now is great, but we want to do more. So, more specifics. Protospiel Online is going to be July 18th, starting at 10 a.m. with our first panel, and it's going to run until 10 p.m. on July 19th. Our last panel, I think right now, is scheduled for 6 p.m., and then we'll have some extra time for activities afterwards. We're going to have a few breakout rooms. We're going to have some activity rooms. We're going to have a way to facilitate gaming on Board Game Arena, which should be a lot of fun. And we're going to have a series of Q&As, usually right after the panels with the guests in question on the Discord. So next slide. That's me. I'm next slide. We've done this before, definitely. Okay, and my mouse is in the way. Okay. Anyway, so where is this going to be? The panels are going to be on Twitch. Again, totally free to watch. We're going to post links across all of our socials, all of our Discord servers, share them out. But this is a great time if you know people that do game design and don't do the Protospiel thing, let them know about this. It's a really great time to just kind of follow what's going on. We're going to have panels right out of the gate. The very first one's actually going to be before the event on July 9th, called Why We Love Digital Playtesting. And it's just going to be a basic introduction to the platforms that we use, why it's really great, some of the opportunities it presents, some of the drawbacks it has. This is not meant to be a don't play test live. We absolutely think you should play test live, but there's also a lot that can be done digitally. And so we really want to encourage that and help people become comfortable in that space. Where if you want to get on the Discord, the way that it's going to work, because you do have to technically buy a badge, is there's going to be a name your price badge available through Protospiel Online's website. The recommended price will be $15. That supports us. It helps us pay our moderators. It helps us make sure that this event can happen again. And then we're going to have a supporter badge that's going to have a little more going on to it. Details on that are not solidified just yet, but if you want to find out more, if you want to follow us, the Protospiel Online website is going to have a panel spiel page with all of the information. There's also a place there where you can give us your email so that we can message you as soon as details are available. Protospiel Online's Facebook page, Instagram page, and Bluesky page are all going to have the latest information as we make it available. And then if you follow Protospiel Online, where you're watching right now, twitch.tv/ProtospielO should alert you when things go live. And that's it. Questions for the audience of 2 to 3.
Well, I'm going to just chime in while folks might be spinning up questions in the chat. It's really exciting that Protospiel Online is expanding in this way, especially where the playtesting events are correctly focused exclusively on playtesting, right? That's the real purpose of them, is that held space for you to test your stuff. But there's so many other ways for the design community to support each other, and this creates that space, whether it's panels. Earlier on, we were talking about just stumbling into a room with Joe Slack and having a conversation for a while. Now there's a place where everybody can talk to the experts and really dig deep and pick their brains and get to know each other. I'm really excited about this idea. I'll say that I heard about it through a little bird, we'll say, earlier. Fantastic, phenomenal. And if it was not on the weekend that I was going to see Weird Al, speak of the devil, I would definitely be there.
I didn't
But
know
I'm
Weird
looking
Al was the
forward
devil.
to you. All of you need to go and support this so that I can go to the next one. Because
Mhm.
if it happens once, it needs to happen again, and that only happens with your support.
Yeah, and a lot of this comes from, we had some events going on during Protospiel online, and there was a lot of, we'll say, opportunity cost, where people wanted to play test their stuff, but they also wanted to be in the coffee talk when, you know, people that they wanted to talk to were there. There were other activities going on, and so this is meant to kind of take that part out and say, hey, this is not meant to be a 24/7 kind of weekend for you. This is a pick and choose. You know, some of the panels will be for you, some of them won't be, some of the activities will be for you, some of them won't be, but this is just get involved with the community, have those conversations, learn about the things that we have been sharing, you know, in the, like, we have a coffee talk channel. That information is very, very valuable, and we don't want to keep it to ourselves. So the Twitch streams, the plan is to record all of those and post them down the line to YouTube, so that people who miss this panel spiel, or people who attend this panel spiel but want to watch them again, will be able to. But the idea is to really take that information, which a lot of it is really word of mouth within the community, and make it, like, solidify it a little bit more. Because that can be very, very valuable, especially when you're talking about, you know, the digital community, and we've got designers from all around the world that want to participate in this industry, in this community, and we want to make it easier for them.
And yeah, I mean, we have Crystal here with us, and actually Hornist joined us in the chat, and Hornist is a Board Game Blitz board gaming friend on BGA. And I've learned a lot from Crystal's community about playing on BGA. And so we're going to have the way that we have the ability to play prototypes at Protospiel Online, we're going to instead play published games on BGA in those in between times. We're going to have a system where you can put your stake in the ground. This is a game I want to play. I know that this is what happens a lot with Crystal's group. It's like, okay, what do we want to play? This is what happens with all groups. What do we want to play? What do we want to play? I don't know. I want to play this. Would that be okay, guys? You know,
I just want to say that the system we set up for this is so much better. Crystal, when you see it, you're going to be like, Heather, can you do this for my community too?
I mean, I'm all for it. Like, we've tried a number of different things over the years now. Like, I had a shared Google Doc at one point where people could sign up with what games they wanted to teach and things like that. But then, like, I don't know, it just, all of that stuff requires me to actually maintain it over time. And the ADHD brain is a real thing.
Yeah, a lot of it started from, we were talking about how we wanted to organize this thing and making BGA a part of it. And Heather was like, well, we can use this system that we use for our prototyping playtests. I was like, okay, can you take this system over here and put it on top of this system? And Heather was like, yes.
I'm gonna put the caveat here. Like, I don't know how many people are gonna see me say this here. I'm probably gonna have to repeat myself a few times, but like, I'm not going to be able to change the prototyping one to this, because I care about the stats and stuff with that. That's part of how we're keeping track and being able to share afterwards and everything like that. But this one doesn't need to be kept track of. It doesn't really need to be integrated with, you know, who's who or whatever. So it doesn't even require logging into the website anymore for people who understand LFG already. You can just do it inside the server. Easy, very easy. And it actually wasn't that hard for me to set it up. So I already did it. Now I already know it works. We already tested it.
It's
so
great. It's fantastic. Everybody's going to love it. But yeah, we will hopefully be announcing the schedule itself more solidified within the next week or two, and we will be sending out some emails letting people know where they can get their backstage pass, when they can, how they can participate, what the other events will be. Like we're going to have some of the roundtables are meant to be a little bit more like, hey, everybody come in, show your prototype. You're not here to teach your whole game. You're just here to like say, here's a prototype I'm working on, give like a 5-minute, bit about it so that people can just see what else is being worked on within the community. Because as cool as it is, like one of the cooler things about Protospiel that I really like is just watching the looking for group channel and seeing like, oh, that person's working on that game sounds really interesting. I don't have time for all of those games, but just keeping up with like what else is out there is really cool. And there's this funny kind of group think happen where like every Protospiel has like 4 people for some reason are working on games based on cribbage this time around. I don't know why, but it just happened. A couple Protospiels ago, it was time travel games. And so getting to see that and how much the community really like gels together is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go to just kind of full screen. I think we've shown what's here for long enough. But oops, let me go to all of us. But yeah, this is a collaborative effort between Jack and me and Will, but it was Jack coming to be going, I will help do this if you will do this. That is the reason it's going to happen. So everybody, thank you, Jack. You the best. It makes a huge difference. A lot of like what you can cover for me that I just would not have the bandwidth to do, wrangling people, making the marketing materials for it and everything. And I think it's going to be a really helpful way to help people get the vibe of the community without having to commit to making the digital prototype. And help them decide if they want to make the digital prototype, if they want to be able to play test their own stuff.
And I also think a big part of this is telling people that like just coming to Protospiel and being a playtester is totally cool and actually like highly valuable. Right. The people who show up and just want to play test are worth their weight in gold. And like there's this tendency for all of us to internalize this idea of like, if I go there, I need to bring something. And, I've been doing Protospiel at this point for 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. And some of them I've come to and I have a prototype that I explicitly want to test. Some of them I come to and I have nothing and I'm happy to just play every game that I can. Some of them I come to and I don't have the time or the spoons to do any playtesting and I just hang out with the community. And all of those things are viable ways to engage with this community. And I think it's really important to say like, hey, like the on-ramp is a lot lower than I think a lot of people think that it is. And that's what this is about, is saying like, hey, just join the community. You don't have to bring something right away. We'll do our show and tells, we'll do our chats, we'll share whatever knowledge we have, but integrate at the pace that you are comfortable with, because that like we just like having more people there.
Yeah, it's funny, like it's a funny balance between people also tell me that one of the most valuable things to them about Protospiel is that it holds them accountable to getting something ready by a deadline, which is 100%. You know what I mean? Like doing the thing where it's like, if you want it to be a deadline, we're here to let it be, to let that like goodie at the end of the path, like people will be there to play test my game. And that's motivating me, right? Sure, let that be, but also don't make it something where you're a failure if that goodie doesn't work out for you either. Yeah, awesome. Well, okay, before we'll let you go, it's time to, I see that we have our next guest in the green room, so that's perfect. And we have Wheel of Names and Snail Mail Mystery Gift to give away. So, okay, let's play opposite titles first. Chris, I'm going to switch to that page. And now we have more people in the chat. So Jack will be the only one.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really scared that I'm going to put my arms up on the wrong side the first time that I do it, because apparently you all got the memo on whether or not your cameras are reversed.
It's the side where your microphone is.
Oh, no. First try. I got it.
Don't worry, we'll
It's
play
okay.
the game first. No one saw that.
Yep. Chris's game.
All right,
first.
I'll cover for you, Jack. So,
Yeah.
just to remind everybody, if you weren't here at the beginning of the chat, here's how this works. I am going to show you the opposite of the title of a popular board game, and we reserve the right to stretch the definition of opposite here. All of the games that we're doing today are in the Board Game Geek Top 100. You can go right now to BoardGameGeek.com, click on Browse, and any of those first 100 games, it could be on that list. So if you get stuck, you can and are allowed to use that list as reference. I'm going to show you the name. I'm going to start reading some clues about that game. The first person in the chat to correctly identify this opposite board game will get the snail mail mystery gift, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll get something. You'll get a little, flat pack sort of gift from me in the mail.
Excellent. Not an IKEA piece of furniture that you have to put together. Different kind of flat pack.
Right.
And so all of our on-screen panelists are ineligible to win, but you are welcome to emote wildly if you figure out the answer to this opposite board game title, which is Insufficient Muscles. Insufficient Muscles. So fastest to get this in the chat will win. This was released in 2017. It was designed by Josh J. Carlson and Adam Carlson. And according to BGG, this is read verbatim from the website, Insufficient Muscles comes loaded for bear by breaking into a new genre, the Dice Builder RPG. This game takes everything you think you know about dice rolling and turns it on its head, dripping with strategy. This fantasy-based RPG puts you in the skin of a new race and takes you on an adventure in the Northern Territories to root out and defeat growing enemy forces and, of course, the infamous baddie responsible. Your final and most obvious clue, as of this morning, it was number 31 in the BGG rankings. So if you haven't figured it out from the title or the clues, look for number 31 in BGG to figure out what the opposite of insufficient muscles is.
Why is the first thing that came to mind when I saw Insufficient Muscles the website Plenty of Fish?
Where I met my wife, actually, believe it or not.
I definitely did some dating on Plenty of Fish back in the day, but I was like, is that mussels are also seafood if they're spelled differently? Is that where my brain was going? I don't know.
Or plenty of people with insufficient muscles on Plenty of Fish, I guess.
I mean, I was on there, so it seems accurate.
Yeah, at one point during your description, you said that the game drips with strategy, and I would really like to request that marketing people stop saying that things are dripping with things.
Yeah. Does it leave you under pressure to write that? Maybe we should make a faux marketing panel for Protospiel Online. That's like.
Oh, we got a correct answer in the chat. It is Too Many Bones. Zoe got there first.
Shanti was just a little slow. Okay.
Congratulations on figuring out that insufficient muscles is the opposite of too many bones.
My brain was just like abundant weakness. I don't know. My brain is not designed for this type of, this type of trivia.
Called abundant weakness. So.
All right, Jack, this is your moment to shine. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Spin that wheel.
Whoa, here we go. Here we go.
Yep. And we're okay.
It is Joshua Washburn. Congratulations. Woo-hoo! That was very nearly a twofer for Zoe.
It almost was there. I saw that.
Oh,
Pixels away from it, but congratulations to all our lucky winners.
Oh, we're gonna need to do that one more time because we're giving two of these guys.
All right, let's do it again.
So maybe Zoe will get it this time.
Well,
so this
I'll
is
go ahead and just spin it with Joshua's name still there, and we'll see what happens.
You call that a free spin.
Okay, if we just get the same name, we'll just spin again.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel.
Oof. Take Tylenol before these streams now. It's the only way to get through it. And it is Zachary Morris. Congratulations.
Maybe you're destined, Zoe, to get this one that's still coming up. We'll see what happens.
So I just want to say that Zachary Morris and Kane both played It's Too Complicated, which tells me that maybe there's some secret mojo with my complicated games, and everybody should play them.
You heard it here first, folks. Playing It's Complicated and It's Too Complicated will win you prizes in real life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if you are signing up for Protospiel, in the small print terms and conditions, you do have to play It's Too Complicated once.
Right.
That's part of the trade-off for making it pay with more.
They did extra hard difficulty because they did an unguided playtest of it. So it was phenomenal. I mean,
that's hilarious.
That is its own special version of playtesting.
It's maybe the drippiest Protospiel giveaway stream.
Yep.
No.
Well, it's complicated. It's too complicated to have like every mechanic in it. So there's like a literal. It's easier to get a bingo pattern if you play. It's complicated built in there, which is how most of these people got their entries. So, congratulations everybody, and thank you, Jack. We're a little bit behind schedule. I'm sorry, next guest, but you're here, and we'll switch you into Jack's seat.
Bye,
and
everybody.
Say goodbye to
Bye.
Crystal.
Hi, Jack.
So we'll see you. Bring lots of musical chairs to do here. Okay. There we go. We'll put you in the featured seat, Tony.
Oh,
There we
hey.
are.
Hi.
Everybody,
Can you do me a favor and turn?
like this.
Hopefully, maybe,
that
maybe
work?
not. No, your phone
No,
doesn't
good.
like it.
Yeah, it doesn't like
No.
it.
That's all right.
That's
My
Nothing wrong with a
computer-
slim screen. We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
My computer screen it's super dark. The light's like right behind me, so you only get the shadow of my face, but then you see the whole lit of the room. So this was like a little bit better, but we'll see.
It's good to see
We'll call
you.
it an artistic choice. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more cinematic this way.
And thanks for your patience. Sorry, we got a little behind schedule. So much to talk about. So much exciting news to share. So.
Yeah, it's okay. I just made it. I was doing groceries and some stuff outside, so I just made it. So it worked out.
Works out perfectly. Yeah. So, I know you. I can't remember. I feel like I might have met you in building the game before we had you ever at Protospiel. But yeah, tell us like kind of what brought you to Protospiel and share some memories or whatever from your time there.
Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting me, Heather and Chris. I actually stumbled upon Protospiel by Jeff. Wow, I can't remember his name right now. His last name right now, and he's going to kill me. Yeah, Johnson. Thank you. Oh, save him. Yeah. Jeff kept raving about it at Game Makers Guild Boston. I was like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever," and I was very skeptical in the beginning. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this online playtesting business. I was still like doing a lot of paper prototypes back then. It was like before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the first one, and I think I stayed all 3 days, and it was absolutely amazing. It didn't help like people like the game I brought, but I got to play a lot of other people's games, and I didn't have to leave my house. It was crazy affordable to do so. I mean, I only have to pay for the pass, so like all of it's just amazing, and I love the people. Seeing the people back again is great. I don't know. It's a very different atmosphere, and I think you guys do an amazing job promoting it and keeping the community and everything. Which is, I can't imagine the difficulty, and it's not easy at all.
Thank you. Yeah, well, you started helping us. You've seen that and started helping us welcome people. You're also one of our team captains. I think it's not promised that y'all are going to be certain matched up teams, I think, but you've been a different team captain than Nick. Like you weren't partners. I think Nick was on Zoe and Tanner's team off the top of my head this last time, but you have a different partner. But yeah, thanks for covering that. It's important to me that one of those things that we do to make community work is like when people land in the server, that they get like a welcome message, and there's a human that gives them the welcome message instead of a bot. You know what I mean? But like a human that says, "I noticed you arrived, and I'm glad you're here," is like makes a huge difference, even if it's just text. So you help us do that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for asking me to come back every time. It's enjoyable. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot more, but I encourage other people. It's really not much work, and I think it really lends that personal feel to it, like you were saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what about some like games that you've played there, or any specific memories, like moments or lessons learned from playtests or anything like that you've experienced there recently or longer ago too?
Yeah, this past Protospiel, I only stayed for a few hours. I had a very busy weekend, so it keeps conflicting, this one and the last one I had. So I couldn't really attend as much as I wanted to. But people are always, it's really funny. Every time I come to Protospiel, it's always like a room of people, and they're all wanting to play something, and everyone who's there is like hesitant to offer the game forward. It's like 8 people. They're like, I don't want to bring my game. I don't want to bring my game. I don't bring my game. And then the host is always like, just put your game out, and then we'll see what happens. And that kind of gets the ball rolling. It's always like, who shoots first kind of thing.
Yeah, after you, no after you, no after you.
Yeah. So that was really nice. Yeah, I got to play a little bit of mine, and then I got to play a little bit of the person who brought the squirrel game with you.
Yeah.
I played it with.
Yeah, Joe Kell. You and I.
Yeah,
you and I actually, even though you were only there for a few hours and only got to play a couple games, you and I were in one together this time, and it was a saga. Apparently the game that we played is supposed to be like a quick, snappy 30-minute game, and we were very, very cagey with each other, and yeah.
I think it's interesting because I feel like it ended up being like an hour, 2-hour game, but we ended up chatting for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel it's because me, you, Joe, and then a few other people in the room kind of knew each other and met each other before, and so we were just kind of chatting, and it felt like it was playtesting at a con in person, because it's like, we kind of like all these sideways conversations, and it's not just like business first. If that makes sense.
Yeah, we were speaking some of our strategy out loud, and talking about why we were doing things. Or sometimes feedback, for better or worse, feedback happens in the middle of playtests sometimes too. Like when it's on top of your mind, like in the moment of the experience, like this is why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
sometimes.
I was gonna say the other thing that I feel that translates really well is that those late night playtests that people have for like party games when everyone's like kind of tired and they're playing like really silly stuff, and which I enjoy so much when I'm at conventions, and I have the same feeling, which was funny because last time was also Joe Kell's game about the categories. I forgot what not categories, the scales game, but the plot, and I don't know what they're calling it now. It's Joe and Emily's game.
Oh, the pirate pancake.
Yeah.
Scatterplot game.
Yeah, the Scatterplot game. Yeah,
I was lucky enough to play that at G2S in person. That's a great game.
So
I'm
much
looking
fun.
forward to seeing more from that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I specifically requested it, and I didn't get to play it. So I'll have to try next time I catch them in person or online.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess I have to like keep my eye on 2 places, and I get distracted sometimes with what to put in the chat, but I can put your brand up in the chat. You did like one thing that you're getting a claim to fame on, I think, recently, is that you did the Indie Games Night Market and handmade some, or well, not handmade, but you have done like a small batch game with Chitra Games, and you've sold at you sold at the big one, the one that got a lot of press at PAX U last year, Indie Game Night Market. And then you had done like a previous local one too, that was like your practice run, if I recall, right?
Yeah, so the story behind the game is that I made this game a long time ago, kind of pre-COVID, but I was chatting with some people and I didn't really have a good publishing route. For context, the game is called In Memory Of, and it's a game about you give a eulogy about a fictional person, which is it's purposely a very sad game. It's a memory of my grandma, and I was like, no one's gonna want to play this. Then I was like, okay, I'm done with it. I can move on. I'm happy where it is. And then Indie Game Market came up, and I was like, oh, this is probably the best way I can actually show this to other people, because I want other people to kind of have the same experience that I'm having with the game. So I did the indie game market, got in, and I was like, oh man, I gotta make this thing now.
Now the hard part starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the game was done, and then I was like, oh, I gotta do the rules and like do the art and all this, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it all. I was like, I'm gonna do it all myself, and then through the game, building the game and Protospiel, I got a lot of feedback from it, and it wouldn't have been made without those two groups.
Mhm.
I think Heather, you helped a lot with it as well. You gave a lot of good input, and I was going to do just the initial run in Philadelphia at PAX U, and then it sold out. It did really well, and I was like, okay, what do I do with it next? And some people were mentioning the Kickstarter has a Make 100, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. I don't think I will track any more than that, which I didn't. So I was like, did a small print run, got a little PR for it, and then I was like, okay, I'm pretty happy with how it did. There's still copies that you can pick up. But I'm just glad I was able to make something just pretty much all on my own with the help of others, of course. But I did the art, I did the graphic design, did everything myself.
Yeah, you had full creative control. You had the D basically on everything.
Yeah, I did.
Which can be nice, especially if it's a game like you're talking about where it's coming from a heart place. And like if somebody, I don't know, yes. If somebody picked it up from you and then they change something in a gross way that it doesn't match kind of, the memory of your grandma or whatever. And it feels bad, right? There's certain kinds of games that you could have made. And if somebody else published it and really made it very highly capitalist and they're like, well, it won't sell unless we, and then they take the soul out of the game, it would suck. You know what I mean? But when you have the D, that's not going to happen when you sell it yourself. That's one nice thing. It's a lot of work though. So pluses and minuses.
Yeah. I was all I was doing for like 3 months, and I didn't work on any other games. And I played it at the Protospiel before I published it with some people, and it was definitely it was a very unique experience for everyone there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm a little, grief is like a heavy thing in my life. I'm a little afraid to play it, but I probably really need to, Tony. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's like a phrase that people say a lot with the game. It's like, oh, I'm afraid to play it, which is wild. You would never say that about any game.
Yeah, it's important. I think it goes to show that it's important that people feel that, you know what I mean? They can tell something would happen if they played it, right? Or at least that's my impression. Like you have to be ready for something to happen when you play it, basically.
Yeah, and I put that in like when I sell it or pitch it to people as well, as like you have to be in the mood to play it, because when I was like heavily working on it, I could only play it once every few weeks and like build up the emotional reservoir to play it, because it's so draining. In a good way. I
mean, talk about pushing the limits of the types of things that games can do, right? I think we've had a very narrow definition of the range of emotions that a game was supposed to create up until, I don't know, 5 years ago or something like that. And you now really see a lot of designers challenging that. And I think that's important because that helps the hobby evolve.
Yeah, 100% for sure. Yeah.
Are we have our next guest asking if they're confused which hour they're coming. They're not. We're just a little behind schedule. But I think we're ready to do Chris's last spot, and you can stay with us for that, Tony. Does that sound good?
Okay.
I think I'll bring Crystal back too. If you're ready, Crystal, I'm gonna put you on camera again. And we've got Chris's slides. So now Tony's in the actual stream, so can't guess in the chat, but everybody else, it's fair game. And
And
this one
just a reminder that every game title that we're working with is in the BGG Top 100. Go to BoardGameGeek.com right now. Click on Browse. All of the answers are there. If you get stuck, you are looking for the opposite of this board game title. I'm going to show it to you and read you some clues. First correct answer in the chat gets... What's this one? I
the
forget.
t-shirt.
The t-shirt, my favorite one. I love the t-shirts. These
Ooh,
last
yeah.
forever. They're super comfortable. And if you don't win one, you should buy one. So our final opposite board game clue of the day is Indifference is the title of the game. Indifference. I can see some nodding already. Released in 2018, designed by Dan Halligan. The BGG description. Indifference is a game of 16 to 20 turns in which players build a deck of Victorian gentry, the British social upper class, renovate their estate by acquiring building tiles from a centralized builder's market, and manipulate an extensive service staff of butlers. I don't need to read any more because someone got Obsession. Congratulations. Obsession, the opposite of Indifference. And that is 2 for Jack. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent work. Congratulations. And that is the opposite board game. Game, which we will bring back, I don't know, 2 to 3 years. We'll see. That was a
I
little
didn't
bit of a
realize
tougher
that
one.
Obsession was in the top 100. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I didn't get that far, but it was number 65 as of this morning. So,
Okay.
pretty decent showing.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us, Tony. I'm going to switch you out for our next guest.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome to have you, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you around.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right, okay. And I'll say goodbye to Crystal, and we'll have you back for the end and the last wheel. And we've got you, Shanti. I'm going to put you in the hot
Hi.
seat. There
Hello.
you are.
Welcome aboard.
Hi. I'm
Good to have you
Shanti.
with us.
I just got these new Witch's Quarrel boxes today in the
Ooh.
mail. They're pretty. I thought I would
Wow.
fold one for you.
Oh, so,
We're going to see a live
Oh.
demo. Look at this.
oh, wow.
That is an evocative art on the inside. Love it.
So is this not really a sample, but like you got a big batch of them and you're going to hand fold them?
Well,
and
yeah,
pack them yourself?
it's a prototype box still. So I'll be
Okay.
sending these to reviewers to preview Witch's Quarrel.
Gotcha.
And there.
Yeah, I love how it's a
The
book.
Witch's Quarrel box.
cool.
Yeah. You open it up and you can see the pages there. And of course, here's the new mistake I made. You open it
Oh,
and there's
no.
the instructions upside
Instructions inside the box are back. I am excited.
down. They are back.
Yes.
And now you know
This
how to
one
get them right
was-
set up for the real thing.
Yeah, my old box opened backwards. Fixed that, and now it
Oh.
opens the right way, and the instructions are upside down. But it's got this cool printing on the inside.
Yeah, very
It's
good.
for just Squirrel getting ready for that kickstarting date.
hmm Let me get that in your, I'll put it in the chat for everybody that you have your preview page. Which
Yes.
I know every step of the way, it's like one thing after another. You have to figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? And get over the
There's so much.
get over the learning curve of all the different things. Yeah. But this is exciting. And this link that I just put up, I think this is the one that it's really a sales page where you've got more details than just, or it's not the on Kickstarter's page. It's like your website page, right? Where people can go through.
Yes.
Mhm.
You can sign up for emails for the announcement, and there's a bunch of copy about Witch's Quarrel,
Yeah.
which I've been
And
bringing to Protospiel for like 3.5 years now.
yes. And I mean, there's a lot of content in this game, and there are many different angles from which it needs to be play tested. Like it's kind of a special project in that way. It needs you want to lock in your first play so that people want to keep playing. So there's a lot of need to play test the first play, and sometimes to play test the first play with people who've never played it before, to make
Yes.
sure that people's foreknowledge of what's going to happen later isn't what's required to make the first one make sense, right? And
Yeah,
then there's
yeah.
also a whole story that, and the way things get opened and linked together, that you need to make sure there's nothing. Like basically a legacy game is a whole extra level of difficulty to play test. So yeah, this is one where
Zach, who just won that last spin, just did a whole legacy playthrough through all the envelopes, and you know, I've playtested the first game hundreds of times, but the last game only like 20 sometimes, and so found a few mistakes in the last few envelopes that I have to tidy up still.
Oh yeah, and I'm not. It's not common, right, for me to extensively play test a game that I meet at Protospiel Online, right? But in the case of Witch's Quarrel, because it's a fast, and this is really, I know, part of the reason you made the game is because you want a game that people can play and seek out depth in it, right? But with little bite-sized plays in case they have, just for busy people, but especially like parents tend to be those busy people, right? And it works that way. It served as an opportunity for like me and Kirsten to see each other regularly for a little while and kind of just like have a friend date. So we your game was our friend date, and then you also got play testing out of it, which was great. So I have seen what was the end. I feel like this is over a year ago now, though, right?
Yes.
Has it been that long since we finished ours?
Yeah, that sounds right. Last November, I think, or a year
so
ago.
I won't spoil it, but I know that I was like, oh, it's like a very heartwarming, like, kind of ending. So that's what I'll give you. I'm assuming it's probably not changed very much, at least that aspect of it.
I hope it's still heartwarming. Yeah.
I love the idea too of a campaign style game played in very short, small bursts. Because there's a few of them that I've loved to play, and we got 2 or 3 sessions deep, and just because of life, the rest of it just didn't happen. So I love the idea. Now, would you describe it as a game where, if you had a few hours, you could burn through a few sessions in that period of time? You want to like binge watch it, so to speak.
Yes. There was one time I went to a convention and someone sat down with me and we played the whole game over 6.5 hours.
Wow.
In one sitting. I think we had like a snack break.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's not too bad, though. I like the idea of that. That it could be just a day of entertainment if that's the way that you want to approach it.
Yes. Yeah. If that's what. Yeah, I guess you could in a log cabin and just play through it.
There you go.
And it's still playable after you're done too. Like it's not just the point is not just the legacy and the story. That's kind of a nice treat for you in the process of like getting access to all the cards that you can play with. But after that, it's Dominion-esque in that you have a index of cards that you can take your little menu and go like, you know what I think would be fun is if we did the ones that are very fighty together or whatever, or you could randomize them just like with Dominion and just play it, as a match too.
I love how this played so much you can just give the whole spiel for me.
You're on easy mode today. You just show up and show your face. Heather will do all the lifting.
Yeah, I'm giving you I'm doing my lo-fi reviewer thing for you where you don't have to send me a box and I'm not going to make it like a fancy video or anything, but I will tell people what I think from having played through the digital implementation. Also, I will say like a pitch for, you as a member of our community, you had a super fancy, like scripted tabletop simulator version. And when that became untenable, you made a super fancy screen top version of this very complicated game. And yeah, you're doing some really cool things that I think like if people play your game on screen top, they'll be like, oh, that's possible. Oh, that's possible. So I also recommend your game like for that.
I actually switched to screen top before it was required for Protospiel because
makes sense.
It got 15 or 25% faster for players playing in screen top.
Wow.
It is a little bit of a hurdle that playing online often still slows a lot of things down compared to playing in physical space. But ScreenTap's got a few sweet widgets where just like you drop a card here and it turns it the right way and puts it in the right spot for you, and those little details made the difference. That it was even compared to when I had a bunch of scripts running in Tabletop Simulator, it was still noticeably faster in ScreenTap, and it got closer to my real life playtime.
More accessible too. Like you don't have to have a whole conversation with people ahead of time that like they need to have a Steam account. They need to It's simply just, do you have a web browser? Right. Here you go.
Yeah, I don't have to offer to buy anyone software so they can test the game.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Although
you don't have a Steam account, we'll walk through that.
Yeah. Right. I learned this most previous Protospiel that it isn't quite any browser that can handle these platforms. It needs to, if it's a browser that's too locked down for security reasons and stuff, it won't have access to like your stored images on a CDN or whatever, and it won't load the images. So
that's interesting.
We're gonna have to say you probably need to go with like Firefox, Chrome, Edge, Safari if you want to use this. But I think that those are pretty ubiquitously available, even if they're not somebody's day-to-day browser. It's pretty easy to switch to them for the period of time you're playtesting. Yeah.
Right.
And just use them for that. So heads up. We were befuddled. We were like, it's not working for you? What? We figured it out though.
They must have a lot of things not work at that point though.
Right. Yeah. I hear tips like Zoe in the chat is one of the people who I think has talked about DuckDuckGo to me, and I've been exploring it, and I might use it for some things, but there's some things that it seems to be, it makes my life much harder. So each of us have to make our decisions about what trade-offs for privacy and convenience we are going to make, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm so excited for Witch's Quarrel to be a real life thing. I know it's been like so much work. You worked on it for so long. So much dedication required for it.
There's another 20 days now before the Kickstarter launches, and I might survive. I'm trying to get all the. I'm fighting through Facebook marketing now, and getting the Kickstarter all ready. I still have to get my final quotes from manufacturers, and I have to get set up for my booth at Origins, because I made the decision a year ago when it seemed like a great idea that I would launch a Kickstarter during a game festival, and but I'm really excited for that. I put some ads up at Origins, and hopefully there'll be like people there who are excited at like the moment that it launches, and we can have a big hullabaloo.
Yeah, I hope people are excited online and in person for it, and it will be an awesome first day opening. Let's make a big splash. Yeah, we gotta talk about making sure you have access to the ways that Protospiel Online can help you with that too. Gosh, you've been a staple of our community. I appreciate you for it. I appreciate you showing up, and also you've been. I'll just thank you live. Like, you're one of my cheerleaders in the background who's like, Heather, you're doing a great job. I just really appreciate it.
My absolute favorite moments are from midnight to like 3 to 5 to 7 in the morning on the last Sunday of Protospiel, when people are still trying to play party games together while falling asleep, and like making live edits in their party games at the same time.
I can I tell the story on you, Shanti, the sleep story? You give me. We're playing a game. I think Shanti said, I'm really tired, so I'm not going to play this game. I'm just going to watch, right? So we're like playing away a game, and we start to hear a noise. We're like, what's that sound? We're like, oh, it's Shanti. Shanti's snoring. So just I guess you must have fallen asleep, like sitting up in your chair, and we're like, all right, well, we'll just tuck Shanti in. Good night, Shanti.
I know, falling asleep at 3 a.m, absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, how could you? No, it's the I think it's not funny. The falling asleep isn't what's funny, but your unwillingness to go to bed. Just go to bed if you're tired. Or another memory that I'm pretty sure it was you, I think Tanner was there, and we were playing a really complicated, I think we were some of the folks that had Tabletop Playground and could play this person's game, because not everybody always has that installed. And it was like this mech game with a cool card layering mechanic where you'd end up building the picture of a mech.
It was like a Protospiel rookie bringing it in.
Yes, yeah, and I don't think we've seen that game again. I hope we didn't. We probably didn't scare them away. There's so many reasons that somebody might not come back, right? Just life can happen so easily. So I'm not going to read too much into it, but I think that this might have been the only time I ever played a game with this person, and we played the whole game, and then we just were talking about it ad nauseum, like. And you pointed out,
we played an hour-long mech game, and then we talked about it for 2.5 hours of feedback afterwards, going late Sunday night.
And you just like interrupted, and you're like, we've been talking about your game for a really long time. Please don't take this as like it's no good or it really needs to be picked apart. Like, we just don't want to go to bed. We're hanging out together and we don't want to go to bed. and you're getting our whole spiel that like that's happening because of it's more the vibe of the group than your game that's making this take 2 hours.
That is, if you're a developer and you want the most in-depth possible feedback for your game, you put it on Protospiel at that after midnight Eastern time, and people will just get long-winded on you.
You'll hear all our thoughts. It's like, we don't have
the filters come off when people are tired.
Right.
And
we don't need any substances.
New game queue slows down.
Yes. Well, the fact that because it's in the middle of the night and there's not another thing that's like waiting for you to play it, probably. That I think that's also part of it going long, right? Because there's nothing pulling us away anymore. Yes. Let's encourage. Yes. Well, it would help out the Europe people.
The rest of the world, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I should just dig out some of my older, not so great designs and set an alarm. You still awake? Well, here you go. Enjoy this.
It is absolutely amazing how often I'm at Protospiel and there are 4 to 8 people sitting in LFG waiting for someone to post another game for everyone to play test.
Yeah, we need something to dig our teeth into, right? Definitely. Okay, well, I think we're ready to give away the big giant game now.
Oh yeah, here we go. That big heavy box.
Is this going to be Zoe's? I think Zoe might be the name that's on the wheel the most now. I think this might have been the first time, Zoe, that you really... I think some people might play bingo but not put in their card, right? So maybe you played it but not put it in before, but I don't remember seeing your name, Zoe. So I'm going to bring Crystal back and we'll go to the wheel.
Back.
Okay.
All right. We need everybody's help to spin it, though. So, Shanti, you got us?
Okay. Here we go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Spin that wheel!
Boy. All right. Oh, it's a close.
Zoe. It's Carl.
Carl.
Congrats, Carl.
And also, so ends the tragic tale of Zoe almost winning several times. But
I know, I feel so bad.
Carl, taking nothing away from that.
Yeah, you needed something specific to get like way more entries. There's I think this person was new, but Kane, I think is how you pronounce his name. One who won Vibes earlier was asking about bingo and was like, so one could get like, I'm calculating like 240 entries by getting a blackout, and I'm like,
We've seen pretty
yes, that is
close.
correct. That is correct. I'm aware.
So for the next Protospiel Online, anybody who wasn't playing bingo, obviously you gotta play some bingo.
Yes. Yeah, and we're I'm kind of adapting. You see, the prizes were a little bit different this time. I'm adapting a little bit in the way I'm doing it, so maybe we'll have even more prizes. We'll see. Let's see if I have energy, and also with Jack's help in the background with taking some pieces of things. Maybe I'll have more bandwidth for some other things. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have even more prizes next time.
We love more prizes. Prizes are good.
Yeah, so our next Protospiel Online, Panel Spiel is the very next thing that's coming up. Get on that email list. I'll put that link up in the video one more time. Here is where you would go to get on the email list to get the details as soon as they're ready about Panel Spiel and how to get your badge. But basically just save the date, July 18th and 19th. And that's when it'll be going on both inside the server and back here on Twitch where we're hanging out right now. And then after that, Protospiel Online will be coming up in August, the 22nd and 24th. That's another date to save if you want to do the play testing stuff together, like we're talking the middle of the night, play testing stuff. And we'll see. We're going to stay open for Panel Spiel. We'll see if Panel Spiel, we've never done it before, but it will be possible. The channels will be open for us to have middle of the night shenanigans, but they'll be maybe just playing BGA silliness instead of prototype silliness. Bluey.
Right. We need huge participation in Panel Spiel so that there will be a second Panel Spiel and I can go when I'm not on a concert. So please, please, please go. It's important.
Now, Crystal and Shanti are you can high five now if you can Bluey car. There you go.
Yay!
I was like, what toys do I have near me? And somehow I don't have any toys near me, but I was like, I have my Bluey cup. And no children live in my house. These are my Bluey cups.
I found the toy when I was looking for a hat to put on Chris's head.
Nice.
But I am so excited for Panel Spiel. The schedule's kind of relaxed. There's like a lot of space between things, which I think is going to make for a lot of shenanigans. And then I love the alternating panel and round table format you've got going. And they're pretty solid topics you've got picked out.
Yeah,
throughout the day.
Jack did a lot of that. So, yeah. Jack
Great.
knows what's up.
Thank you, Jack. It looked exciting. And I can do it from my bedroom.
Jack was saying initially this should be no more than one day and let's just pack it together. And I was kind of like, okay, Jack, like I'm listening to you. And we kind of our first conversation about this, we were kind of talking about it that way, and then kind of the dam broke. It could be 2 days and there could be space. And I was like, now I'm really excited. It was like the thing that got me over the hump. Yeah. Good job, Shanti. Jack gives you props for knowing which side to high five. But yeah, both.
Otherwise, I would have been left hanging.
My microphone is a good clue for me because I'm like towards the microphone.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, I'm looking forward to being with all of you again next time. And thanks everybody in the chat for joining us. We'll see. I think Panel Spiel also should be good for our Twitch, right? And so maybe we'll have more people to play Chris's silly games. He won't be left hanging on our giveaways. I know you're like, it's not that hard, everybody. Come on. There is a lag.
Insufficient muscles. Come on, man. I mean, that's like such a great game name right now. If somebody isn't designing insufficient muscles already, then they need to get on it.
That's your design challenge for the next Protospiel Online proper. Is somebody needs to come with a game named Insufficient Muscles. And I have a bad feeling I'm going to be pulled into a lot of play tests for 3 or 4 different versions of that. Poetic license.
I was so sure it was going to be smart enough. No.
Oh.
Enough brains. Do you have enough brains?
I can see it. I can see it.
Too many bones.
Muscle versus brain. 100%. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for staying a little longer and getting through all the content. And we'll see you all next time on our next Twitch thing. I'll be here minigame Mondays until Panel Spiel, and then we'll have Panel Spiel in July.
Bye-bye.
See you in the clubhouse.
Yeah.